Ahead of the 7th and the final phase of the Lok Sabha elections, the big fight for Bengal continues. West Bengal is one of those few states where the voter turnout in the ongoing India general election has been pretty high. The Modi versus Mamta fight grows stronger, with both parties faces holding their mega campaigns in the capital city of Kolkata. As we speak, this is the first time the Prime Minister is holding such a mega roadshow in Kolkata. Now, the Prime Minister and the BJP continue to exude confidence, reiterating the stand that the party will emerge as the biggest gainer in West Bengal. In 2019, the BJP recorded a historic finish, winning 18 of the 42 Lok Sabha seats. This time, they are eyeing 30 plus and the tag of the single biggest party in the state. This is one of the most bitter fights in Indian politics over the last decade. Mamta Banerjee and TMC trying to hold off the BJP in Bengal, leading to political murders, clashes, bitter taunts and more. Needless to say, a lot is riding on Bengal results for all concerned. Is the 2024 battle going to prove to be another landmark for the BJP in Bengal? Or will Mamta manage to wrest back some lost ground? Who is leading in this Bengal fight? That's the question we'll take to our guests in just a bit. First up, the Prime Minister will be holding a 2.5-kilometer roadshow from Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's statue at the Shyam Bazaar 5-point crossing, where he will pay floral tributes in just a bit from now. The roadshow will then move on to Bhupen Bose Avenue, Central Avenue and Girish Park. The final leg of the roadshow will take place at Vivekananda Road, Swami Vivekananda's ancestral house. The PM is also expected to pay his floral tributes to the statue of Vivekananda there. Now, what's pertinent to note here is that vehicle restrictions have been imposed from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. on all of these areas. The Kolkata police has imposed this restriction on vehicular movements today in all of these locations. That, of course, has led to a bitter fight. I'll come to that in just a bit. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee is also holding a roadshow starting from Entelli Market to the Baliganj Fari area in Kolkata. Let me take you through the route that the Chief Minister is covering as well. From northern to southern Kolkata, Itali Market, Park Circus, 7-point crossing, Shamsul Hura Road. All of these has a domination of minority communities. While there is Baliganj Fari, which fall in more towards the southern constituency, they are known as the quote-unquote sophisticated areas of Kolkata. Now, the Kolkata police, as I mentioned, imposed a set of restrictions, including the implementation of Section 144. They say this is a routine exercise, but this has obviously triggered a political war of words between the Trinamool, the leading or the ruling party in the state in West Bengal, and the BJP. So what are both sides claiming? The BJP says that these prohibitory orders have been imposed to create obstacles for them and for the BJP's roadshow, while TMC says that this is just another attempt by the BJP to spread misinformation, this allegation that the BJP is making. The BJP further went on to attack the TMC, stating that the evil tactics of the TMC will not be able to stop the BJP from excelling in West Bengal. TMC defending itself, saying that prohibitory orders of these kinds, even 144, are issued on a regular basis. But what is the need for that? They haven't quite explained that. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said TMC is fighting for its existence in Bengal and that the BJP will win big. The TMC called Prime Minister a migratory bird of sorts, someone who only visits Bengal during elections and has actually no love for the people of Bengal. Now, the BJP says actually it's the people of Bengal who are leading the fight against the TMC. For them, BJP is just a vehicle, in other words. The TMC has raised questions, remember, on the centre for fund allocation for Manrega, Awas Yojana and other schemes in the state. This is, of course, to show that this is all political and there is no love really for the people of Bengal. That leads us to the big question we're asking today. In this Modi versus Mamta battle, many would say the highlight of the 2024 general elections or the peak battle of the 2024 general elections. Who's exactly leading this Bengal fight? That's coming up in just a bit. But first up, also listen in to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's exclusive interview with ANI, where he spoke about BJP's expectations in West Bengal in the current elections.
बंगाल में भी ताबड़तोड़ एक टक्कर की लड़ाई चल रही है। आपके भी बहुत कैंपेनिंग वहाँ पे आपने की है और अभी आप शायद फिर जाने वाले हैं बंगाल। क्या लगता है आपके प्रोस्पेक्ट्स कैसे रहेंगे बंगाल में?
एक तो मुझे लगता है कि एनआई के जो फुट सोल्जर्स हैं, एक बार उनको वेरीफाई कर देना चाहिए कि वो कहाँ से रिपोर्टिंग आपको भेजते हैं। बंगाल के चुनाव में टीएमसी पार्टी अस्तित्व की लड़ाई लड़ रही है। आपने देखा होगा पिछले असेंबली के चुनाव में हम 3 थे, 3 में से बंगाल की जनता ने हमें 80 पर पहुंचा दिया। हमें लोकसभा के अंदर भारी बहुमत पिछले चुनाव में मिला था। इस बार पूरे हिंदुस्तान में द बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग स्टेट कोई होगा तो पश्चिम बंगाल होने वाला है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी को सर्वाधिक सफलता पश्चिम बंगाल में मिल रही है और पश्चिम बंगाल का चुनाव एक तरफा है, जनता जनार्दन उसको लीड कर रही है और उसके कारण सरकार में बैठे हुए लोग, टीएमसी के लोग बौखलाए हुए हैं। लगातार हत्याएं हो रहे हैं, हमले हो रहे हैं, भाजपा कार्यकर्ताओं को चुनाव के पहले जेलों में बंद कर दिया जा रहा है। इस सारे जुल्मों के बावजूद भी मतदान भी जनता ज़्यादा कर रही है और वोट भी ज़्यादा हो रहा है।
Let's go across to the guests joining us. Shatarupa is spokesperson, West Bengal BJP. Mohammad Tausifur Rahman of the TMC will be joining us in just a bit. Sanjeev Srivastav, senior journalist, Professor Sanjay Kumar, psephologist, and co-director CSDS is also with us. Professor, why don't I begin with you? Your sense on the battle on ground in West Bengal? It's very much a bipolar contest now. There's no denying that. Even the Congress and left would not be angry with me for saying so. But in this bipolar contest, is there scope for a non-TMC, non-Bengal based party to grow? In other words, is there room for the BJP to grow even further?
Very difficult at this moment to make an assessment, but you are right that this is a bipolar contest between TMC and BJP in 2024. BJP has made a lot of effort for expansion in West Bengal. So if BJP is able to make further inroads compared to its performance in 2019, I won't be surprised. BJP had won 18 seats in 2019 election. If the tally goes up, I won't be surprised because I see a pitched battle being contested in various constituencies in West Bengal between TMC and BJP. So as I said, I won't be surprised if BJP tallies goes up by a couple of seats.
By a couple of seats only. Shatarupa, not much that is being given to Bengal to BJP in Bengal at this stage. Some would say that you kind of peaked. You're aiming to become a single largest party, but that is, those are tall claims.
See, we have to wait and see till the 4th, because as of now, both our leaders, the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Home Minister, has been announcing that we are going to get very, very high numbers. In fact, today the Honorable Prime Minister has said that we're going to be the best performing state. And believe me, I've been going on the ground. I mean, I'm not only on television, I do go on to the ground for quite a few constituencies. Apart from the normal count that is being attributed to us, I have a feeling we are going to get, general public will be in quite a few surprises. When quite a number of seats which were not expecting, I mean, we are expecting, the general public is not expecting, or rather I would say the psephologists are not expecting us to win. We are going to win those seats also.
But on what basis? So on what basis do you say that? Can you elaborate why do you think this change is going to happen?
Yes. Well, number one, of course, Bengal has a lot of faith in the Honorable Prime Minister, despite Trinamool's tall claims that the Prime Minister is a migratory bird and the Home Minister keeps coming and going. One is to understand that Bengal has ceased to be the capital of India since 1911. So naturally, if we represent the largest party in the world and we run the country, the capital is in Delhi and the Home Minister and the Prime Minister is going to live in Delhi. But this entire blame that is being given to the Prime Minister that he only comes during elections is wrong, because the entire world saw him sitting and waiting for the chief minister when the Amphan tragedy happened, when the storm happened, and he was waiting. The chief minister made him wait. The prime minister of India was waiting for the chief minister of West Bengal to make an appearance. So that's all a false claim, which Bengal knows. The other thing that has happened here is coupled with the incredible faith that Bengal has in BJP. I mean, Modi ji and the way the country is being run, is that four sitting ministers are in jail. Four sitting state ministers are in jail, and the incredible level of corruption which is happening day by day. You know, the Bengal has been sitting and seeing a currency being counted in machines. So this has had a tremendous effect. Another big turning point will be, of course, Sandesh Khali. I can see Tausif smiling, but of course, we shall see who smiles at the end on the 4th. But these are factors. Another factor I would say is the fact that most of the men in Bengal are forced to go to other states as migratory, if not laborers, all of them. But definitely they are in a different state. And the fact that Bengal has no industry and absolutely no option of jobs here, there's no future in Bengal, like people keep saying.
Okay.
They're kept away from their families. So there are various factors which has really swung the mood of Bengal. The Honorable Prime Minister keeps using this term that the mood of the people is definitely for BJP right now.
Okay, mood of the people is for BJP. They've seen the Prime Minister function for 10 years at the central level. And why wouldn't they vote for him is what the BJP is saying. Tausif is joining us from the TMC. Tausif, my first question to you is about the charge that the TMC is facing about wanting to disrupt the Prime Minister's roadshow today with the Section 144, etc. that has been imposed. Now, if you weren't nervous about the Prime Minister's, presence or his appeal in West Bengal, why would the police do something like this?
Good evening, Shivani, and I'm really sorry for joining late. And Shatrupati, thank you. You can see my smile. And good evening to you as well. But Shivani, one thing is for sure, you cannot stop the Honorable Prime Minister of India. I mean, he's my Prime Minister as well. And these 144, Shivani, if I tell you, I can give you all the paperwork from the commissioner which we get. I mean, these 144 and the curfews are nothing new. It always happens in every 3 months, 4 months in
But
West
why?
Bengal and other.
What is so problematic in Kolkata that you need Section 144?
No. These happens in every state, but the CM and the other political party, they doesn't want to know their people to know. So something happens, but at the end of the day, he did not stop the Prime Minister
No,
of
once
India.
again, Tausif, you're making it sound like Section 144 in a metro is routine. It's not.
Section 144 in a metro is not all over Calcutta. It was just 2 places, and anyways, the route has not been changed. The Honorable Prime Minister of India was there and he did a good job, and he was talking all wrong Bangla also, so everyone was making a mockery out of it. But anyways, I was hearing the Pradhan Mantri as well, and I was hearing Shatrupati ji. But this Honorable Prime Minister has become a daydreamer, Shivani. I mean, he should be worried about 4 June. I mean, he should be thinking about Uttar Pradesh, where he has already lost the battle. Why I'm saying this? Because he said today that Bengal आज सबसे अच्छी रिजल्ट करेगा हमारे पूरे हिंदुस्तान में बीजेपी के लिए. So that means he is losing Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and all ruling states of BJP. I mean, this is not from my side. This is what the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra
That's a very
Modi,
creative interpretation of what the Prime Minister said. I'll give you that much.
I mean, Shri Narendra Modi ji ne aaj subah ye kaha. But again, the people of Bengal has decided and given the mandate to Didi already. I mean, just one more phase is left, Shivani, which will be a clean sweep on the 1st of June. They cheated our people. They insulted our ideology. They insulted our culture. They malign our state. And in front of 11 crore people in West Bengal, they always attack the people, not the Trinamool Congress. This is what we are very sad about it. I mean, their candidate insulted a woman who is the only female CM in the country. The party who have no respect for women They want to talk about Nari Shakti, and they were dancing on Sandesh
But
Khali
didn't the
issues,
TMC
which was
question
totally
the victims of
misrepresented.
Sandesh Khali? I'll come to the respect for women thing in just a bit, because I think it's interesting you brought that up. Women definitely are not just a vote bank for both Mamata Banerjee and for Narendra Modi. In this contest in Bengal, a lot of the focus has been on women. But Shatrupa has been wanting to come in, I think, on the Prime Minister's rally arrangements. Very quickly, then I go across to Sanjeev Srivastava.
Shivani, Tausif is saying that it keeps happening. Now, 144 is something that you know that you would apply on riot-affected areas or war-infested zone or something. Imagine the day the Prime Minister is supposed to come, and that is today. It was informed. I mean, you know very well. SPG gives information to the state administration days before, many days before. So suddenly we get this announcement from Kolkata Police that a 144 will be applied on Kolkata, whole of Kolkata, for 2 months, starting from the 20th. Isn't this bizarre? I mean, why? Kolkata is the capital of a state which functions, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with Kolkata. Why would you want to apply 144?
BJP wants to create a
You do
ruckus
not
in our
want,
city.
you do not
You
want the
have
Prime
to
Minister
take care of
to
it,
have a
Satrupati.
roadshow. Tausif, you cannot
If you
interrupt
want
me
to
on that.
create a havoc
You have no
in
right
this
to do
city,
this. Shivani,
we
will
will
you
not
please
allow
stop it?
you.
Shivani,
If you
will you
want
please
to
stop
create
it?
a criminal right in
That's
this
your word.
city, we will not allow you, Satrupati.
One second, I'll come back to you. Tausif, just 1 second. We were not speaking over each other. I think that was the way to go. So just hold on your horses for 30 more seconds. Let Shatrupa finish, then I'll give you 30 seconds.
So this is a direct insult to the Prime Minister of India, and Trinamool is panicking because Trinamool has seen the effect that the Honorable Prime Minister has on the general public. You know, he goes beyond BJP. The way you have seen this, Shivani, wherever he goes, people go mad just to get a glimpse of. So, I mean, applying 144 very systematically on a day that the Honorable Prime Minister is going to do a roadshow in a capital city. There are 4 capital cities in India. One of those is Kolkata. You do not, under any stretch of imagination, think of applying 144, which this government has done. And
Okay.
what for 2 months? Why? Why? Because are we getting into a riot or are we getting into a war zone? 144 is something that is given where where the law and order is completely gone berserk.
Okay,
You know,
Tausif, 30 seconds. Tausif, then Sanjeev. Yeah.
Satrupati, I totally agree with you that the people are going mad watching Narendra Modi, and especially when he speaks, it really feels like it's a comedy stand-up. Trust me, I'm not insulting anyone, but right now it feels
You
like
do.
whenever I see
You're
Narendra Modi
constantly doing this.
Narendra Modi is
And I don't
talking
know
on the
what
TV, it feels like a comedy stand-up. And you people are bringing people from Bihar to fill up the stage. So, Tripati, you know it very well. You can't deny that. Suvendu Adhikari is giving train tickets to call my Bihari brothers from Bihar कि आपके जनसभा में लोग रहे, आपके पास लोग नहीं है. What are you talking about, man? I mean, the BJP ruling state will be a disaster for Modi and for you. Will be surprised for that. I mean, now he is expecting something from Bengal which will be a sad ending for PM and BJP Bengal unit. Getting 18 seats last time, the people are still waiting for all the promises which he made.
Okay, I'll come back to that fight. 1 second, I'll come back to that fight and to our political representatives. Sanjeev hasn't spoken. Sanjeev, thanks a lot for your patience. But I do want to ask you, it does look a little bit odd when you've got section 144 imposed in a big metro city, that too for that long a period, and when the Prime Minister is set to arrive. Maybe the optics aren't great. I'm not going to, take that to the point where, we could decipher what the election results could be. But would you concede that the TMC needs to be worried? We've seen examples of this. For example, in Tripura, nobody thought the BJP could win the state of Tripura, but it did, and not in a long time. Once they set their eyes on a state, they managed to turn it around. That is the example. I know it's a smaller state. In West Bengal too, they've had great successes, and this has been of prime focus for Amit Shah and others to continue to turn West Bengal saffron.
True. So, West Bengal is an interesting case. Very honestly, I personally don't think it's one of those key battleground states in this election. Because I don't think the election outcome in West Bengal will change very dramatically from what it was in 2019. Where the BJP got 18 seats, they may increase, like Sanjay Kumar said, by a few seats, or they may lose a couple and come down a notch or two. But see, so I think BJP peaked in 2019 in West Bengal politics. That was the time when it was being seen that they can really storm the Mamata citadel, and they made a very hard, strong pitch in the assembly election, which followed the Lok Sabha elections after a couple of years. But so again, you can see glass half full or half empty. It's like the Prime Minister said in his interview, and we all know that from 3 to 80 was a huge quantum leap by any standards. But their slogan was 200 par, like their slogan in this election is 400 par. They themselves are now saying that it was, largely something to confuse the opposition. So when they couldn't really make the 200 par thing happen in West Bengal, from there, it is more or less a status quo. The Sandesh Khali issue actually did threaten to blow up into a big thing and turn the tide in favor of BJP to some extent and put Mamata in the dock. But that has become a little old issue, and now there are so many questions about the veracity of the entire Sandesh Khali thing with, rival sides making different claims. So I am nobody to judge which side is right, but the credibility of the entire thing actually has gone down or dimmed a little.
Okay.
So West Bengal, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, finish.
Yeah. So West Bengal is, like everybody has been saying, it's a 2-horse race. The voter, and because of the large number of minority vote there, Mamata starts from an advantage, and we all know that the other side is not voting as one bloc ever, especially in West Bengal. So that's why it's
not going to be that easy. Okay, I think I get your point. There are certain hurdles you cannot cross numerically, and therefore, Sanjay Kumar, as both of you are suggesting, that it could be 20, but this is it. The floodgates will not open beyond that. But I do want to ask you about the woman factor. There are many schemes Mamata targets to women. There are many schemes Narendra Modi targets to women. And then you've got this entire Sandesh Khali horror play out. Sanjeev may have his point of view about how the veracity of some of the accusations, but the response to those accusations has also come under question. Which way do you think Sandesh Khali has worked more politically?
No, first let me clarify. Don't put a full stop that I said 20 seats. My only limited point was that BJP would increase the tally. There's no thermometer, such a precise calculations I can make that BJP is going from 18 to 20. Others may be able to do that. I am not in a position to do that kind of a calculation. As I said, the limited point I was making that BJP is on the up, it's not on the decline. Okay. And up means yes, BJP is going to increase its tally. I know that there is a lot of campaign by BJP on Sandesh Khali issue, but my own sense is that still the women vote is tilted in favor of Mamata Banerjee, as we have seen in the past, whether I am talking about the last Lok Sabha elections or the previous assembly election. Yes, Sandesh Khali, initially when that incident happened, it seemed as if it's going to be a big issue in the election. I don't see this becoming a big issue in Bengal election. It has a limited impact, but overall, I still believe that the women voters are or will be tilted in favor of Mamata Banerjee.
So in this election, you don't see the factor that, for centre, people may favour Narendra Modi, for state, they may like Mamata Banerjee, like they do in many states. This is, after all, a national election, not a state election.
It has been the case even in 2019, because you have to compare with the past assembly election. So look at the 2021 assembly elections. What happened? BJP's performance was less compared to its performance in 2019 Lok Sabha election. So that factor will still come into play in 2024 Lok Sabha election. But I don't see that factor becoming such big or such an important factor that BJP would sweep the state. And when I say sweep, out of say 42, I don't see BJP getting say 30, 32, and that I would consider as a sweep. But I do agree that this is a factor in the mind of the voters of West Bengal, that this is a Lok Sabha election and BJP will get more votes in the Lok Sabha elections 2024 compared to what they got in 2019.
Okay. Shatarapa, 30 seconds, you wanted to come in.
Yeah, there are several factors I wanted to come in. One is, although you and I are women and all, I understand there is a gender factor here, but it's not fair that every time people like Tausif can make ridiculous comments on the Honorable Prime Minister by saying that it's a stand-up comedy and the kind of language and the foul abuse, the verbal abuse that the Honorable Chief Minister has been doing. The words are not even fit to be on national media. Forget about any kind of broadcast. So somehow it's a two-edged sword. And as far as the women factor is concerned, I must say that yes, although the Honorable Chief Minister has been giving out roles, so to say, 500, 1,000, 1,500, in whatever schemes she keeps on saying. I think women are understanding the situation of women all over India, especially where BJP ruled states are there, and the schemes, the composite schemes for women, the thought behind overall women empowerment that is going in. I think that most women are understanding that these are just dolls, as if it's a consolation prize. Here's a Cadbury for you, or here's a lodgings for you, because the men of your family are outside and you basically have no other income. So make do with the 500 while we can keep on doing, placating the goons and carry on their appeasement policy.
Okay. No, you make a good point, and Tausif may respond to that. Law and order, particularly law and order that impacted women, even in states where law and order was the absolute depth, in states like Uttar Pradesh and others. BJP has a track record of improving that. Now, law and order is what is being seen as an Achilles heel for the TMC as well. Why wouldn't the Bengali voter think about what is it that they want for their future? It's not just economic schemes that matter, no, at the end of the day. Your life and limb matters as well.
Shivani, politics is just not about getting votes. Politics is just not about campaigning and making a false promises and making false propagandas over here, in Bengal especially. And yes, when you were saying that women targeted scheme, we don't target women's scheme, Shivani.
You don't?
We deliver schemes. We deliver the schemes to the women.
Okay. Semantics. Answer my question on law and order.
I need to elaborate. When you talk about law and order, you don't talk about Brij Bhushan, you don't talk about Prajwal, you don't talk about those Olympic medalists who were sitting on Delhi roads, who were shouting and howling for their rights. But again, no one was there they were unheard. But anyways, when it comes for Sandesh Khali, I can see media and people like you jumping and howling that बहुत गलत हुआ, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए था, अत्याचार हुआ. But again, it was a created story. It was a propagated scheme which was happening in Sandesh Khali.
No, I'm actually not talking about Sandesh Khali from the point of view of the sexual assault that has been alleged. One second, Tausif, I'll give you the opportunity to finish. Just one second, let me clarify. I'm not talking about Sandesh Khali from the point of view of the sexual assault that has been alleged. But look at the other allegations, right, of land grabbing, of running illegal fisheries, etc. You look at political murders, you look at violence in West Bengal, particularly around elections. All of that constitutes law and order.
Those have been taken care. And I was in Banaras campaigning for Bhadoi because we have one Trinamool Congress candidate from there, from Bhadoi district. So I was campaigning there. And I was asking those Banaras people and the Telawara and the Rediwala, you can go and ask them what is happening in Banaras right now. No,
that's not a response to what's happening in West Bengal.
No. This is what a blame game happens. When you talk about West Bengal, you want to create a ruckus, you want to malign the state, you want to insult the people.
I don't know why everybody from TMC feels that everybody else has some sort of a grudge against Bengal, or we've got some knives for Bengal. None of that is true.
Shivani, just give me 30 seconds. I was hearing Shatripa ji. Shatripa ji was telling me that I'm making some abrupt comment against the Honorable Prime Minister of India. Shatripa ji, whatever happens between you and me, I will never disrespect you personally. आप भूल चुके हो that the Tamil candidate was targeting Mamata Banerjee कि आपका रेप क्या है? आपका रेप क्या है? This is what politics is. Will you ask a sitting female chief minister कि आपका रेप क्या है? This is politics. This is what you want to know from West Bengal. This is what candidates are coming from BJP.
I don't believe Tausif.
बताइए आपका. No, Shatripa ji, this is
Tausif just said this.
No, Shakti, आप ये नहीं बोल सकते. No, I agree. It happened. It happened. दीदी, आप रस्सी बांध के लाने वाले औरत को. What is this? What state and law and order you are talking about, Shakti ji? What is the threat we are facing staying in West Bengal?
All right. Can I just pull back from this? We'll continue to discuss West Bengal because as we inch closer to the final phase, certainly this is the one big fight that everybody is looking out for, including the impact of Sandesh Khali and other issues that have cropped up just recently. I do thank our guests for joining